here. The topic today is, yep, she says now. Yep, I think she was on a different time than us. Yep, she was on a different time zone, so she's going to get on. Okay, today our topic is actually flipping. And so we've been going through the series with our happy house hunters of finding and then funding and then fixing and then flipping, filling, and finally, what is your freedom number? So today we're going to be talking about the flipping portion. And we have Tarry Summers with us. I am very excited. I can't wait to hear all about Tarry and what is going on. So Tarry, I'm going to let you give a little bit of a backstory about yourself and how you got into this industry, and you know, give us a little history, and then tell us what you have. Oh, we need to unmute you there.
There we go.
There you go.
We good?
We are good. Now, I will just jump in and say this. Some of these calls that are open to the public have been hacked in the past. I have a lot of names here today that I'm not familiar with. So if for any reason that we would get hacked, I am just going to immediately mute everyone, and then Tarry, I'll come back around and unmute you.
Hopefully we don't get hacked.
Yeah, that happened to us one time. So I will say that. So if for some reason that it happens, and if for some reason the videos get hacked where somebody starts to play something inappropriate on a video, we'll just close out of the meeting and then come right back on. Everybody just come right back on with the same code. So I'll just give a little setup there just in case. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tarry.
Cool. So I guess a couple things. You guys, how I got started. We're talking about flipping today, which I'm actually really excited about because I usually talk about financing. I usually talk about rentals, but now I get to talk about flipping. So I'm kind of excited about that because we do flip a lot of properties each and every month. But, you know, what we've been known for is, you know, buying rental properties and especially single family rental properties at scale and at volume. But now we get to talk about flipping properties. So I'm really excited about that. And we get to talk about the financing, I guess, of flipping properties as well. So a little background on me, guys. I got started in real estate in 2010, I guess, officially, because that's when I bought my first property. I bought my first property in 2010 for $79,423. And remember that number because 423 is actually my birthday. So if any of you guys are around next year, you guys know my birthday is, send me a, you know, a little Facebook rocket ship or, you know, bomb or whatever. But, you know, I bought the property, I actually sent the bid for that number because I thought that would be more inclined to be accepted. And I was absolutely right. The realtor I had at the time said, just send an obscure number and it might be more inclined to be accepted. And she was absolutely right. Absolutely right. So I started off with that one property. It was an FHA, what we call house hack. And that property ended up appraising out for $128,000, which I was able to borrow that money, be able to do more things with it. And then, you know, the whole delayed gratification thing came in. I'm like, well, if I can save $5 grand here, and then if I can, you know, sell my baseball cards, and then I can, you know, just say, you know, not drink Starbucks, which is a very tough thing for me because I'm a caffeine addict. If I can just continue to do this for a long time, then maybe I'll be able to, you know, own a lot of rental properties. So along that journey, I was able to accumulate 16 rental properties before I actually, quote unquote, quit my job. And then I bought 16 rental properties in the triplex all in one day, went into Chase Bank that Friday. After a little bit of drinks with my fellow Chase mates, and quit my job in 2013. It was April 12th, 2013. I actually have the plaque right here behind me. I think it's that one right there. It's my resignation letter. And it was just a phenomenal day, an absolutely phenomenal day, because this is a day we all dream of, you know, when we can do our own thing, when we can want to go out and literally create our own destiny without someone else telling us what to do. And I had the ability to do that. And so I'm very, very grateful. I'm very thankful. But, you know, at that point I had 34 rental properties, and then eventually that 34 rental properties became, you know, 74. That became a brewery, that became multiple gyms, became multiple businesses. To this day, you know, we own a couple Amazon businesses, gyms. I do not own the brewery anymore, but, you know, now we have almost 300 rental properties across the city of Columbus, and we flip properties every month. But one of the things I will say is, you know, along this journey, you can't just get into things. You have to create things that are scalable. You have to create systems. You have to create processes, which I am not good at. However, you learn how to be good at, and you learn who the people are good at those things, and you learn how to leverage those people that are good at the systems and the scale and all of those systematic things. And then you learn how to actually scale. So hopefully that tells a little bit of the story. And yeah.
That's perfect. Now, how long did it take you to get to the first 34?
So I started, the first house was in 2010. The next 6 were in 2011. The next, I think it was like 10, or no, it was nine in 2012. And then when I left the job I was at, I went to Chase Bank at that point, and it was literally like I have a very sacrifice story. It's like, hey, literally, like, save on your Starbucks, live broke, like live on people's couch, have roommates, do all that type of stuff. And you do that for so long, like you can learn how to save a lot of freaking money. And then eventually, like, those pennies do turn into dollars.
They do. Mm-hmm.
They do, absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it took me, let's see, from 2010 to April 12, 2013, when I bought those 16 in one day. I mean, it was 3 years. So yeah.
Okay.
But I had to actually go out and rehab those properties, get them, you know, rented, and then refinance them. So that whole process took maybe 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
Okay. Now, did you do all of your own rehab, or did you have folks that could rehab for you? I mean, did you have a crew, or did you just roll up your sleeves and learn how to do some of that rehab stuff yourself?
Again, my story is all of, you know, figuring it out. So I had a couple of my boys that we would literally like move from rehab to rehab. So when we would like move in, I would have my guy, his name was Matt. He would do the painting.
Okay.
Dustin, he would do all the maintenance stuff, and we'd move in and kind of do that thing. We did that for about 3 or 4 of them. And then I had my neighbors. I grew up in the south side of Columbus, so, you know, not the most prestigious place in the world, but, you know, I knew a lot of people. So by knowing those people, I was able to employ those people, get them to work, and, you know, they did another 4 or 5. And then, yeah, I mean, you learn who the people are, find the contractors, be able to get them and put them to work. But when you put them to work full time, they have a job, they have something to do every single day, and you pay them weekly. That's what, that was probably one of the best things I could have possibly done, because every week I did pay those guys to make sure they were paid. And that's something I do to this day, is make sure my people are paid every single week. So that was part of the whole success in that the whole thing. So yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, you say you went from 34 up to 74, and now you have like 300 across Columbus. And are all of these now buy and hold properties that you, along with your partners, I'm assuming, did the guys you start out with, are they still with you, still as a partner type situation?
No, those are just my guys that live with me. Okay.
Oh, so those are just the roommates. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just roommates. Yeah. Just
okay.
Yeah. My thing is, like, don't get partners unless you have to get them.
Okay. Okay. I understand that.
Just if you're desperate, then get partners. But if you're not desperate, you don't need to get partners. We're too valuable to have partners, right? We all have.
I understand that. I understand that. Yeah,
Yeah.
the couple of times that I started out with the partner kind of bailed on me, and then I had to regroup and pull myself up by my bootstraps anyway. So I finally just did it on my own. So I get that. Yep, I get that. Now, how in the world did you get involved in a brewery? And I know that's a little off topic, but that's just so interesting that you've now expanded. And you say you don't own the brewery now, but how in the world did you expand to a brewery?
So when I left so I was working at Chase Bank at the time, which was the most terrible job on the planet. It was like, hello, this is Terry on a recorded line to maybe monitor for quality assurance. Do you see how well I do that? I was a trained employee. I was a trained VA at that point. And, I absolutely hated it. I called it the cube life. It was just terrible. It was horrible. And I knew that I had to get out of that. It was just, it wasn't good. So long story short, I had a pumpkin beer with one of my Chase mates. I don't call them cellmates. I call them Chase mates. Had a beer, but it was a pumpkin beer. And I'm like, wow, this tastes like football season. How great would it be to have a football brewery? And so eventually I was like, well, what would it be like to start a football brewery? And so I was like, well, I'm quitting anyway. And I just refinanced all my properties. I had 16 at the time. I just refinanced them, cash out refi, tapped into some IRA accounts, learned how to borrow money at 2013 at this point. And I'm like, wow, how cool would it be to actually own a brewery? Which every guy in the world that's in college, that's what they say, right? How cool would it be to own a brewery? And so I was like, well, I'll do one. I have nothing to lose. And so when you're at the lowest point in your life and you got nothing to lose, you're like, well, I'll start a brewery. So I started a brewery with 4 of my college friends, typical story. And, it went well for about a year and a half. And then when all of the things started happening, it was just, not the best business venture to get into. I'll tell you that. The restaurant business sucks. The real estate business is awesome. That's what sucks. Like in the restaurant business, you're going to make $120,000 in 1 month in gross, but then you're going to keep like 4 or 5% of that. But
Right.
in the real estate business, we make $120,000. We're keeping 50% of that.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. There's a lot of expenses in the restaurant business, a tremendous amount of expenses. And then you said you got into having a gym, and you still have the gym?
I do. I've got 1 out of the 3 still. So I sold 2 of them. The other one I still have is the official gym of the Arnold Classic. I was in the fitness industry. How I learned how to sell was actually I was in the fitness industry in 2008 all the way to 2012, and that's what originally gave me my income, like an $80,000 income, to be able to invest in rental properties. So, I always go back to the fitness industry. It's my heart's there. I love the fitness thing. And, it did a lot for me at the time. So I had an opportunity to get back in and I said, hey, why not? So all of our Airbnb people, they get a free gym membership.
Okay.
It works out.
So now you're saying that you already have Airbnbs as well. Some of your rentals are short-term, not necessarily all long-term rentals.
Just 4.
You have 4 short terms. Okay. And then you mentioned something about an Amazon business.
Yeah. So I will say this, once you get into real estate and you realize how difficult it really is, like at scale, like the great thing about real estate is it makes the most amount of millionaires on the planet. However, scaling past that point, scaling past the millions, when's the last time you've seen a top 20 billionaire be in real estate? Never. It doesn't happen. The scale in real estate stops because you're always dealing with people. You're always dealing with problems. You're always dealing with a lot of different moving pieces. Whereas in the tech business or in other businesses, you're not dealing with the amount of people and problems that we are. So kudos to everyone on this call, by the way, that can deal with real estate and deal with all the problems and people that come with it, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
But again, systems are the answer. Systems are the key.
Systems is the freaking answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So go back to the beginning and tell us about your first deal. We've got some first timers. A lot of folks on the Happy House Hunters are newbies, and we've got some first timers here. Tell us about your first deal and how you made that happen.
So the first deal I had, so I bought for,
How old were you?
I was 24 at the time, 24,
Okay.
and I'm 34 now. So I guess, yeah, it's been 9.5 years. Uh,
Okay.
so I saw a deal. It was listed, I think, for like 90 grand, and it was a HUD. So anyone on this call, if you want to find, if you're going to live in a house, like we call house hacking, get on HUDhomestore.com. This is like the nugget of gold right now, HUDhomestore.com, because for the first 30 days, they only allow owner occupants to bid on those properties. So I believe Fannie Mae or Fannie Mae Home Path does the same exact thing. But any of these sites, they want people that are going to be owner occupants to own these properties. Well, the great thing about it is you only need to be owner occupant for what, 6 months? Then you can refinance it and do it again, do it again, do it again. But yeah, that first deal was, I think it was listed for like 90 or something like that. And then I put in the bid for $79,423, and it got accepted. And I literally cleaned out my bank account at that point. I had like 5 grand saved up. I was really rich. So I cleaned out my bank account. It was like 5 grand. Had like $500 left, and I'm like, shit, what do I do? Excuse my language. But I was like, I got to figure out this rehab portion. I had to fix the roof. I had to put in central AC. I put down hardwood floors, painted it. And then I realized very quickly, I went in on a Sunday and tried to paint all the trim, and it took me all Sunday. And I'm like, well, I could pay somebody like $100 to do this, but I'm making like $400 per day. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And so when you can eclipse by your job or the way you make income with someone else doing it for a lesser amount, that means you don't need to do the work anymore. You don't need to do the work. And I realized that very quickly. Like, I'm like, I changed the doorknobs. I put down rocks in the front yard to make it look pretty. I cut the grass. I, tried to paint the trim, and that did not work on a Sunday. So I was like, I spent all Sunday trying to paint the trim, and I only got a prime. So I was like, well, anytime that you can eclipse with your job or the way that you make income with someone else doing that, like, you need to hire that stuff out. Just hire it out. And that's been my MO. Like, anything that someone else can do, and they'll probably do it better than you, so anytime you can hire stuff out, like, hire it out, like, let someone else do it. But that deal ended up appraising out for $128,000. And so what we did, this isn't a flip. I know it's a flip thing, but it's kind of a flip. That property ended up reappraising for $128,000, which meant we were able to go out to the bank and borrow 80% of the value of the $128,000, which was $101,600. We only owed $75,000. So for a 24-year-old kid to get a $27,000 check from a cash out refinance, I was like, I prayed on the check. I didn't know what to do. It was an absolutely crazy thing. So I know we're talking about flipping right now, but that was my first deal. And it's kind of a flip, but it was like a bank flip,
So now what did you do with the 27,000?
I put that in 2 more properties.
Okay. Okay. So you knew right away that you were getting ready to build your portfolio.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So that was the plan.
That was definitely the plan. Yeah. For me, I was always like, live broke, live broke, live broke, but then see the future value. And I always think of investing as give up the present value for the future value. If you can give up present value for future value, you'll be a very rich person.
Well, and I can see in just 10 years, you've gone from 34 to over 300. And so tell me now what you do when you flip one. Do you actually go into some deals with the intent that you're absolutely going to flip them? These are not going to be a buy and hold. You are buying them to flip, to make cash. Tell us how you find these deals, how you fund them, And then how do you find your contractors to, to get them done so you can flip them?
I love that you said how you find your contractors to actually flip them. That's huge.
Yes, that's huge.
I think that's the toughest part. There's more money on the street right now than there's ever been in history. People are looking for opportunities to fund their deals. So for us, I mean, like last month, in the month of September, we bought 19 rentals. We bought another 3 properties that we flipped, and then another 3 that we wholesaled. So that was the month of September. So I always am a fan of, if I can buy it and hang on to it and hold it, that's what I want to do. However, I was always on the team of, I want to hold on to everything. Well, the problem with holding on to everything is you go broke. You can't hold on to everything, because how is that $400 a month cash flow going to pay you enough to be able to keep your business afloat? It doesn't. So you need those big checks coming in to be able to keep your business going. So with the flip thing, I always look at, for Columbus, I'm not sure how many people are here from Columbus, but for us, anything from 100,000 to 170,000, we're keeping that as a rental. But if it's over 170,000, we're going to go ahead and try to sell that thing off. So we bought a property last month for $212,000, and we put it in contract for $265,000. We did no work to it, but it came through one of our marketing channels, and we were able to, make it work. Like, hey, let's put this back on the MLS and let's flip this thing. We had another property that we're like, what was it? We bought it for 60. We put, I think, like 50 grand into it, and then we sold it for 167. So you have to have those checks coming in order to fund your business. And most people think of like, man, if I could just make like 20 grand, if I could just make 10 grand. And I was on that same team 9 years ago. Like, if I could just make 10 grand, if I just make 20 grand, that would change my life. It'll change your life until you want to make it an occupation, until you want to make it a job. Once you do that, you depend on that check. Once you depend on that check to be able to, it becomes very tough. So for us, we always look at things as like, how can we hold on to this thing? If we can't hold on to it, how can we flip it? And does it make the most amount of sense from our contractors' time, from our time, from our money, to be able to A, put that as what I call wholesale? Do we just put it back on the market? B, do we fully flip it? Do we just sell it off to another investor? We've done that too. Like today, actually, 1400 Hudson. We bought that property, I think on Wednesday of last week, and then we sold it to another investor for $9 grand. So we bought it for 56. We're selling it to another investor at 65. Yeah, and then we make $9 grand. There's title fees and all that stuff involved, so maybe we'll make 8,100, whatever. But you just have to decide, what is the best use of your time? What is the best use of your contractor's time? And what is the best use of capital at any point in time? And we always look at those factors, always.
So how many are on your team right now that you're working with to make all of this happen?
So we have a team of 9. And one of them is on maternity leave. So really we have a team of 10. And then we have 9 VAs.
Okay.
I'm huge on VAs. I think VAs are a game changer.
Now, talk to us about that.
So
VA, for the folks that don't know, a VA is a virtual assistant, and so you can hire these virtual assistants to do some work for you where you don't have overhead and office and all of that. Am I correct, Terry, that most of the VAs working for you are on a 1099? So
yeah,
you're not doing withholdings or anything.
Exactly. They just get paid.
Okay.
The thing I love about VAs though is like an office. No, can I be real?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll be real. I'll shoot you straight. So if you guys could see my office right now, I'm in an office. I have a desk beside me. I should have my own office at this point, but we have a staff accountant. We have a leasing agent. We have an office assistant. We have an office manager. We have 4 full-time maintenance people. We have another office assistant. But with these people, what you have to understand and realize is you are going to have office drama. I hate office drama. It's terrible. It sucks. Like, you know, for instance, today they went to Taco Tuesday down the street. They were gone for like an hour and like 20 minutes. If I was at Chase at that point, I would have got blown out, you know? I'm like,
Right.
what am I going to do? Just tell them they can't go for an hour and 20 minutes? So you have a lot of that. However, with a VA, you have none of that. You know, it's cut and dry. There's no personalities involved with it. It's, are you doing X? Are you doing this? Great, cool. And there's no personality involved. It's just, are you doing the work? Great. So I love the whole VA culture. I think that's where we're moving to, and especially with like COVID and working from home and all of those types of things. Like, it makes so much sense. So
It does. I agree with you. So how do you find your VA to begin with? Where do you start to look for a virtual assistant, and what are they actually doing for you that lightens up your time?
for sure. So we usually go on Upwork.com. And
Okay.
I have a whole course on this too, but like we go on Upwork.com, and once you go on there, what we do is we actually give them what we call a DISC profile test. Have you done,
Okay.
DISC profile?
Yes,
Isn't it amazing?
it is.
It like confirms everything that you need to know about yourself. Like we know it, we know exactly who we are, but we're like, all right, someone else confirmed it. So, but then when you have a VA that does that, it lets them know exactly the position they need to be in. It lets them know the same exact thing. So we do the DISC profile. And then after that, we do an English test. So we want to make sure that their English is fully proficient, all that stuff.
Because some of your VAs are not in the States, am I correct?
None of our VAs are in the States, no.
Okay.
Yeah, we have VAs in Mexico, we have VAs in Guatemala, and we have VAs in the Philippines. And, you know, with these VAs, they are fully as part of our team as anyone that is in the United States is here. Like, they're as much a part of our team as anybody else, and I try to make it that way. They're doing a lot of work. I mean, like, we have one VA, Lillian. She does literally every collection call. She does every escalation call. She does all the leasing calls. So people that come in for leasing properties. So we get anywhere from 100 to 120 leads per day. And she will literally call every single one of those people back. It's a lot of work. But who in the States is going to do that? Nobody.
Right.
They
So,
do, like, with no questions asked.
so let me ask you this. They're doing a lot of that for you, and so that loosens up your time, of course, to do what you do. But how do you find those contractors when you're ready to flip the properties? Where do you go to find that's again, for all of the beginners on this call, that's our biggest Achilles heel, is how do we get those contractors once we get the house that we're going to flip?
So I want to explain exactly what we do before I go into how to find them. So a couple of things that we do that's different than anybody else. So a lot of us get what we call renovation loans. So renovation loans allow you to pull draws off your property. That means that they're paying for the rehab. What we do is we pull every single draw off of our properties every single Monday. So every Monday, we meet with our contractors. We say, hey, where are we at? What's going on? Give us pictures, give us video. We only visit every property that we do 3 times. That's it. We visit a property 3 times. When we start the property, middle of the property, and when we're going to close out the property.
Interesting.
What you have to understand is, like, if you want to build a scalable real estate business, you can't go driving around like we've all been there. Like, we've lugged around like tile in the back of our, Range Rover going to a property. You can't do that. You can't do that and scale your business. Like, I was at a mastermind last week and we we're talking about that. Like, you just can't do that. So what you need to do is you need to train your contractors to do that for you. You need to train your contractors to do all of that for you. Take pictures, take video. And if you take pictures and video on Monday, guess what's going to happen on Friday? You're going to get paid on Friday. Now we pull our draws on Monday, so that way they hit our account on Thursday, and then once they hit our account on Thursday, we're paying these people out on Friday, which also means these contractors, they don't have to float payments.
Okay.
So they don't have to pay out their people before they're getting money from us. Make sense? With that being said, they never have to float a payment. And if they don't have to float a payment, guess what? They don't have to leave an extra $20, $30, $40, $50,000 sitting in their account just to be able to take on our account.
And guess what? Anytime you need to use them, they're ready. They're saying, pick me, because they know that they're going to get paid.
They know that. And they're getting paid. So contractors that get paid, great. Never pay a contractor up front, by the way. Never. We never do that. However, we do pay them every single week. And what contractor is not going to work for you to get paid every single week? Listen, every contractor wants to be an entrepreneur. They want to be, hey, I work for my own team and I'm my own boss. Let them be their own boss. But if they're own boss, guess what? They still need to make payroll every single week.
Yep.
So be able to make that for them. Now, one thing that's different with us, I don't borrow a ton of private money. We borrow all hard money. So that we have draws coming in every single Thursday to be able to pay out our people every Thursday. So, like this week we have I think our draw amount's like $44,000. So we're going to pay out $44,000 on Friday. We're drawing all of that money based on hard money to be able to pay that amount out.
Okay.
And so when you pay your people every Friday, that is, if anyone takes anything from this call, pay your people every Friday, they'll never leave. They will never, ever leave. And where do you find your contractors? I will say this. Facebook's good but everyone else is seeing them on Facebook. If you want to find a good, like, no-name contractor that hasn't really believed in themselves and hasn't proven themselves, go to a coffee shop in a small town and find a contractor. I promise you, I found 2 of them there. We have 5 that are basically, they're not full-time for us, but we're like 90% of their business, so they are full-time for us. Both of them, I pulled them from Circleville, Ohio, off of a coffee shop, and I pulled their business card down, and I called them.
That's crazy. I love it. I love it. Terry, your story is amazing. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm going to see if anyone has any questions at this point. So I'm going to open up the chat. If anyone needs to ask a question, ask it in the chat. I'll monitor that. Is there any questions for Terry? And type it in the chat, please. Stephanie says, give us your contact information, Terry.
All right, that's Terry at cbushomeco.com. And then you can hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, and or, yeah, I mean, I'm online constantly. So if you hit me online, I will definitely be there and I will answer any questions you guys have. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, great, great, great. Because again, we've got some newbies. We've got some folks that are just getting started. So, oh yeah, our hat is off to you on what you've done in 10 years. That's just amazing. Again, kudos to you. Best way to get past the anxiety of messing up, even though you have some cash and credit. That's Amos to everyone, is what's the best way to get past the anxiety of messing up?
So I think, so we actually talked about this on a mastermind last week. And I think anytime that you have a lot of cash behind you, and whether it's your cash or someone else's, like, let's be real, it gives you a ton of confidence when you have a lot of cash behind you. However, pretend if the deal is good enough, the cash will find you. And I'm a private lender as well. So if any of you guys got great deals, trust me, I would love to fund those deals. I got millions sitting. So if there's a great deal, I want to be a part of your deal. If you have a great deal, someone will find you. I promise you, if you market it enough, someone will find you. Someone wants to be a part of your deal because they're going to make money as well. And be okay with people making money off of your deal. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's not about like who gets over on who. Like, let's all figure out how to make money together. let's all figure that out. Like, you know, it doesn't mean that someone has to be on this side of the coin and someone has to be on this. No, it can be that we make money together. That's why I love this business so much. Is out of all the businesses I've been a part of, I have never ever seen something like the real estate business where we can develop a relationship. We can both come together, make money, and still be happy.
Mhm.
And the seller can be happy, the end buyer's happy, and the people all in between can be happy as well. I've never seen anything like it. So just don't be afraid for that people, someone else is making money off your deal. Because trust me, we're all making money. Don't get greedy.
Terry, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being with us this evening. Please hang in there with us. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to leave the chat open. You can go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll monitor that. Josh is saying thanks to Terry. I want to, at this point, introduce to you Karen. And so she snuck in there. She's waving. Hi, Karen. Unmute yourself there. Can you get unmuted? There you go. All right. Karen, I'm going to turn it over to you for a while. Everybody hang in there with us. You're going to love what Karen has to share. And this is going to be something that maybe none of you have seen before. So especially all of you newbies online. So I really appreciate Karen being here. And Karen is in a different time zone. So she tapped in a little later. It is not 6 o'clock or 6:44 in her time. Karen, where are you coming from? Where are you?
Well, I live just outside. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I live just outside of Dallas, Texas. So I'm actually in East Texas, but I drove in from the lake. So I have a lake lot. So I stay at the lake lot and then I came into town so I could have good Wi-Fi because it's kind of iffy out there.
Okay.
And I did not realize the time difference until too late. So I'm here. I'm late. I'm sorry I didn't get to hear all of his talk, but I enjoyed what I got to hear and I totally agree with him.
Perfect.
Especially about the VAs.
Perfect. Terry, I'm sorry, Karen, give us a little bit of your background and your history. How did you get involved and to where you are today?
Okay, so I've been a real estate investor for 6 years. We got started with wholesaling and we bought a property, a really great price with seller financing, put a tenant in it. We bought 2 sub-2 properties, had tenants in them, so we got into the rental business, into buying and holding, and very minor rehabs, very minor, like less than $3,000. And then after we wholesaled a few, then we decided to attempt our first flip. And so we kind of, like you said, you kind of look to see what's the right end game for what the deal is. Is it better for you to put a little bit into it and sell it for a lot? Or is it better to buy it and hold it as a rental property or fix it and flip it and make big money? It just kind of depends on what your capabilities are and what your interest is and what the need is at that time. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
So did you want to share with us?
I can.
Okay. I think you can do that. Go ahead and give it a try.
We will see how this works because I haven't done a screen share with a PowerPoint and all this other stuff open at the same time. So let me get to my PowerPoint. There it is. And put it on slideshow because I don't know how to jump back and forth. I'm not real techie when it comes to this kind of stuff. So you are going to have to bear with me.
Now, Karen, you didn't jump in at the very beginning, so I will mention this. On one of our other calls, we did get hacked where some folks jumped in and took over the screen. If that happens, we're just going to shut down and then everybody come back in. And because that way I'll know who did that and I'll know not to let them in. Just giving you a heads up in case that happens.
We've been there, done that.
Yeah. Okay, so you've had that happen too. I get it. Okay. So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
If it happens, we'll leave and come back. I got you.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so let's get started. So the tonight's class was about fixing, flipping, funding, and all these F's, right? Fixing,
right.
finding, fixing, flipping.
And finally, your freedom number. What is your freedom number?
Exactly. Well, mine is 10,000 a month, but
okay. Perfect.
Okay, so we're excited. I'm excited to share with you guys a simple blueprint that we use to manage our rehabs as we scaled from our flipping business from one project a quarter to one project a month. Now, disclaimer, I no longer do that. That was with my old business, with my old business partner. So I'm no longer involved in doing that. But this is the CRM that I use is what enabled that. So that's why I wanted to share that with you guys today. Let me see if I can get this minimized so I can. Okay, there we go. All right. So you want to know the best part? With this simple system, you can be up and running within a few days, whether you have done 6 deals or 250. Like, we literally customize it. We built it so that we're able to get it to you guys quickly and you can start using it immediately. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And a little bit more of my bio. I'm Karen Maxwell, and I've been a real estate investor for over 6 years. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly side of real estate investing. I have attended real estate masterminds and classes, received coaching, spending well over $100,000. And my business partner and I 10x'd our real estate business during that time. And the key component was the system I created. It allowed us to scale smoothly and efficiently. So I have a simple rule. Anything you find yourself doing more than once needs to be automated. Systems and processes are the foundational element to exponentially increasing your business revenue, but require you to dedicate consistent time to getting the ball rolling. So let's dive in. Today, I want to share with you 3 secrets that will help you hit your next level of success in real estate investing. So our 3 secrets are how to instantly estimate repairs. Now remember, that's an estimate. I want to make sure that y'all are clear on that. This is how to roughly estimate the repairs before you actually see the property so that you can determine if it's worth your time going and doing a walkthrough or scheduling your contractors to go give you more firm bids. We'll also be going over how to automatically determine if it's a deal, and then how to use the one-button contract creation app. So the secret number 1 is how to instantly estimate repairs. A lot of people are afraid to even try because they say, will I estimate the repairs correctly? Well, most people think that the most accurate way is to get an estimate from a contractor or 2, but that can take days. So if you've ever had to send a contractor out, you have to get them over there when somebody can let them in or that they're able to get access to the property. And then you have to wait for them to get their bid together and then get it to you. And that literally can take several days. We've had some take a week. But with Simple Endgame, that's the name of the app, your estimated repairs can be done with the push of a button. So we take the headache out of rehab estimation. Would you guys like to see how? No,
Absolutely.
I can't see the chat or anything. I'm on this whole screen. So I'm going to be showing you guys how. And it says insert the video, but I don't have the video inserted. So I'm going to switch over and I'm going to show you an example of that. So we're going to watch this short video. I did create the video. I just didn't put the link in. How easy it is to calculate repairs. Are y'all able to hear that?
Not yet.
Okay. You may not be able to hear it. This is my test property. So this is my test property. Go down here. I already have, as long as you have the square foot in the app, you can click on lipstick. And you will be able to modify the template and change these to whatever amount you want. And it will multiply. Are you able to hear that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So basically I was just saying is that the system runs off of the square foot. And that these buttons that you push, you'll watch it change the preliminary estimated repairs as you change the buttons. The square foot times this many dollars, like this is $6 times the 1,800 square foot that this house is. And if we change it to paint and carpet, it will change it to $17,010. So that's the way that works. All right. So that's that one. And let me get back to the PowerPoint.
So once we put in the averages on our area, it'll just automatically do the cost for us.
That is correct. So
Okay.
every, uh-oh, I didn't start at the right place. Every area, of course, is different, and every every investor is different. So with that, we will show you how to edit that. Like yours are not all going to be $6. Let me go back here. Yours won't, no one, not everybody's will be $6, but it's in the format, just like a spreadsheet. And we show you how to modify the template and make those changes. If you decide, okay, you know what, if I'm going to do paint and carpet, it's going to cost me $3 a square foot. That's fine. That's the way most people estimate anyway, is by square foot. We don't get into great detail like, oh, it needs this and it needs that. We don't go into all that. We're just trying to get a rough estimate. And then once you get into the, sorry, I have, this is important. And 1 second. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so then okay. So anyway, so we show you how to change that, how to change that from the $6 a square foot to the $12 a square foot, $15. And then everybody has their own kind of way of doing that. And then, but what we'll do is we'll set it up so that your mother, your grandmother, your cousin, your daughter, anybody can sit here and analyze deals for you. And then you'll have all that little guesswork stuff done for you. And you can just sit down and say, okay, oh, look, this one's a good deal. And I'll be showing that in just a few minutes.
Okay. And that's where your VA can come in. Your virtual assistant can do some of this for you.
Absolutely. The VAs that I work with, they handle anything from just cold calling to everything. I mean, literally, some of the investors can sit down with their coffee and just look through their leads and decide which ones that they want to move forward with, which ones they want to send offers on. And some of them, one of them even just goes in and approves offers and closes the deal. So, but those take very specialized.
Josh wants to know what you want him to do with all the equipment that's in that house.
Ignore.
Like put it outside?
I'm in the middle of a Zoom meeting. No, just leave it. Okay. We're doing a trash out on a property.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
It never worked. I mean, it never fails. Something always coming up. Okay. So then, but yes, so all that's, you can modify the templates on that and then definitely have somebody else do that for you. I mean, some people are just learning. So they're like, you know, can I do this? I definitely would suggest that you start off with something a little smaller. Don't take on a full rehab first right out of the box. And I also wanted to talk about what he said earlier was that, you know, you can find things on Facebook, but probably one of the worst things to do is to post on Facebook that you're hiring day laborers, unless you're really ready, prepared to pay them daily and you have someone down there to really keep an eye on them, because they will spend all their day going through your trash. So, all right, secret number 2 is how to automatically determine if it's a deal. So we have another app called the Boss Up app that allows you to be much more selective in determining which project you choose, so that the same time spent yields a higher return on your investment with faster turnaround. So 6 months, you can either spend 6 months making 30K, or you can spend 2 months to make 50,000. This was kind of goes back to what he was saying earlier, where you make a decision, am I going to wholesale it, or am I going to wholesale it, or am I just going to clean it out a little bit, or am I going to do a full-on rehab? So the Boss Up app easily calculates all the extra costs you might have forgotten about, even the loan cost. Training videos are included with every app for simple modification and customization. This powerfully paired with our Boss Up app and instant repair estimates in-game gives you the powerhouse of tools. So, you want to take Boss Up for a test drive?
Let's take a look.
All right. So now we've got to go over here to the Boss Up Deal Analyzer. Now, what I wanted to show was how you can quickly, like right now, I'm on the outside of the app. I haven't gone into, this is a Podio-based system, by the way.
I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Completely forgot. Got to go back to screen sharing. All right. So This is a Podio-based system. A lot of y'all probably know Podio, but if you haven't ever had a system built out for you or built it out yourself, then you will know that Podio is very boring. It just doesn't do much, but we have all the bells and whistles built into it, and that's what makes the magic happen. So right now I'm in the Boss Up app. That it's what we call the deal analyzer. It's what we use to analyze a deal quickly. And as you can see, I've already put in several here. I've got 9. Now most of these are samples, so don't get excited. So right here at the end, what the system does is it's going to calculate it for you. And on, like, I want to show you like this one. This one they're asking 170. And our MAO is 126. So that would not be a deal we would pursue. This one, however, they're asking 70 and our MAO is 119. So this is definitely one we want to pursue.
Karen, go back and explain, because we've got some newbies on the call, what the MAO is.
Okay, the MAO?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. MAO is the maximum allowable offer. So what you do is you typically have a formula, and in this case, for this specific app and for this specific reason, it is 70% minus the repairs, 70% of the ARV minus the repairs minus my wholesale fee, which gives me my maximum allowable offer. And then we also have a starting offer, which is of course less because you don't want to start off with your maximum. So let's take a look at the inside of this one. On this one, this is one that I did the other day, and basically you just put in some information. This is just the seller's phone number. Of course, if you're dealing with a wholesaler or an agent, then you would of course have their information. I have the address, the map and everything. This is where it comes in, the square foot. Well, if you have the square foot, it can do all these calculations for you. I don't know about the bedrooms and bathrooms and such because I haven't actually gotten a hold of them, but I have ran the comps. Now I've run the comps. I've got my low comps and I've got my high comps. Different people run their comps different ways and determine their after repair value different ways. The way I do it is, how can I get back to Zoom?
Do you want to stop sharing? Is that what you're looking for?
I like to be able to see myself so I can make sure y'all can see me. Can y'all see me now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So whenever I'm running my comps, I make sure that I am comparing apples to apples. And I want to look at the low comps because that's important for me to know what it would sell for on the MLS if I don't do much to it. And also what I could sell it to an investor for super fast. Then I look to see the high comps, but I had to pay attention to the condition of the high comps. If they are super, just really decked out, then I'm going to have to put a whole lot more time, money, and effort into doing that sort of rehab. So those are the things that I look for. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to say, oh, these properties sell for $250,000 because they're completely decked out. And then you leave Formica countertops and stained carpet because that's not, you can't expect to get that price if you're going to sell for that amount. So that's the point of the after repair value. Then, okay, so we've got down here, I've got the comps in and I do 2 different ways. I put in my, the sold price per square foot for each of my high comps, and then it calculates an average, which in this case was $81. And then it also calculates the 3 high sales prices. So what it gives me down here under ARV determination, it tells me the suggested ARV based on the sold price.
And for all the newbies, if we've got some real newbies in the group, ARV is your after repair value.
Yep, how much it's going to be worth once you get it fixed up, not the condition it's in right now. So your suggested ARV based on the sold price per square foot is $119,000, but the suggested ARV based on the high comp sales average is $159,000. So the reason that they may be so far off would be because this property may have smaller square foot. So I would not try to go for $159,000. I would stay at the $119,000. Then you enter what you determine. So this is where your thought comes in and what your gut tells you. and what you want to go with. I want to say this one's worth 119. So I enter it there, and if I take all that out, it's going to take everything else out. All this is going to start disappearing except for my repairs, like the basic stuff. So now I'm going to go back and put it back in, but I'm going to change it to 120 just to do a little something different. Then every area has a discount that your investors are looking to buy at. So if you are the investor that's looking to buy the property, okay, you want to buy it, let's say you want to buy it at 70%, and then you want to sell it for 100%. Because this is for either one. So if you're trying to decide what you're going to do with it, if you are wholesaling and fixing and flipping and buying and holding, this gives you your range. So in this case, if I'm an investor and I'm going to buy it at 70% and I'm going to fix it and flip it and sell it for 100%, I'm just going to make those changes. And then your estimate of repairs comes over from the other app. So you go through that and put your get your estimate of repairs, and it'll come over automatically for you. Okay, then your assignment or your profit. That'll be a little different because if you want to sell at 100%, you want to make it a little different. But let's say we're not going to have an assignment, so we're going to take that out. If you're wholesaling, then you might want to have an assignment fee. Okay, and we don't have an asking price on this one, but let's just say they're asking $75,000. I haven't even looked at this one to see. Okay, so if they're asking $75,000, in this instance, our maximum allowable offer is going to be $56,000, but we want to start off at 47, so we have some room to come up. Now, if this was the case, I would say we're probably too far off, but I would still send them an offer. I would never not send an offer. Please don't do that. Please never think that the seller is going to say no because you're too far off on price, or the wholesaler for that matter. There are all kinds of things, especially if you are a fix and flipper. If you go to a property and you see that the repairs are way different than what the wholesaler or the seller or whoever has estimated it at, and then you come in and verify that, hey, this needs a lot more work. If you will give them a good, detailed, backed up reasoning why you think the repairs are higher, they will very well listen to you. Or they might have just been shooting for the moon, and then they're like, okay, I'll take that. So always keep that in mind. Everybody gets a written offer no matter what. Even if they tell you no on the phone, I still send them a written offer just in case the situation changes in the future. Okay, so then the other numbers that it shows you is the average 3 that you can wholesale it at. Remember, we looked at the low comps. So if you are going to, there are some people that will get a property and clean it out and throw some white paint everywhere and change the locks and wholesale it on the MLS or even to another buyer. So for this one, we could wholesale it for $74,000. Well, that happens to be the asking price. So this might be a wholesaler. I actually know that this is a fake property, but
Okay.
but those are things to watch out for. Yeah. And then, okay, so then we can sell it to our buyers we can hope to sell it to our buyers for $92,000, but that's because we're going 100%. Remember? Mm-hmm. So how are we doing on time? Am I needing to wrap it up pretty quick?
No, we're just now at 7:06. We like to be done by 7:30. I don't want to keep folks too long.
Sure, sure.
So I want to give enough time for you to wrap it up and for us to ask you some questions.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm just about done with that. And let's see. So we did that. Whoa. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back to the slideshow. From the current slide, that's the button I pushed wrong earlier. Okay, how do I get rid of this? Okay, there we go. All right, so we did that. All right, then the secret 3 is how to use my one-button contract creation app. Gone are the days of having to write up multiple page contracts. Push one button and it's all done for you. We take the headache out of manual processing. Doesn't matter how many pages, it's done in seconds. So do you want me to show you how simple this is?
This is a pretty great program because it gives you the numbers in a hurry, and now it's going to give you the application.
Yep, well, yeah, it's going to give you, let's see, this one's going to be here. All right, so with this one, now this is not specific to the rehabbers because it's going to be completely different. I mean, it's going to be the same but different. Every single process is the same. I mean, every single app has the same basic processes. We tell it what we want it to do, and we push a button and it makes the contract. So whether it's making a 7-page lease or 8 different contractor documents, if you are having them fill out a scope of work and a fee schedule and a payment schedule and a checklist, it'll create all that for you. Whatever those documents are that you're always having to fill out, I can get that automated for you. It's no problem.
Okay.
So this is, I'm going to show you how to do the offer. So if we had an offer, basically all these are just push buttons, okay? And so you just are going to decide what company you're going to be buying, what entity, business entity you're going to be buying it in, what title company you're going to use. And again, you can modify and of course change them to other ones. And then tell it what appliances, tell it what county. It's already going to have your 45-day close and 30-day inspection. And these are all, you can edit any of these. You can edit it really simply just by changing it.
Okay.
Okay. And then you've got your additional clauses and terms, which is subject to final walkthrough. And then we're going to put the deadline for them to sign the contract on the 9th. And we are going to go right here. I've already done it just to make sure it was working earlier before I started. And so we push a button. And then you're going to watch it pop up right here. And like I said, it'll be the same for leases or contracts or anything. Then you're going to open it and you're going to read it and make sure that everything in bold was the actual information that you meant to put on there. So it brings in your legal description, it puts in your appliances, it puts in your special clauses, the address, their names, who the title company is. It puts in all the whatever your contract says. I read that contract and I make it say what it needs to say automatically from your app. So there's your 45 days, your title company, and then everybody just signs it. And then you can send it over electronically, or you can send it in the mail, or you can present it to them in person, either way. And then let's see. We're going to talk about that one in a minute, if we have time. Okay, so then let me get back here. So, okay, so here we go. So let me ask you guys a question. You feel like this a little bit like right now? Right? Like you just drank from a fire hose? All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to, I don't want you guys to feel like that. My brain just thinks differently, and I just am fascinated by my automation, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm so happy whenever I can make somebody's life easier by automating the things that they have to do more than once. So I definitely agree with, work with Podio quite a bit. So we do have a special for you guys tonight. And so what you're going to be getting is if you're interested, now this is just for the ones that are interested in getting the apps. We've got the in-game app, which is going to include that rehab estimator, which I did not get to show you all that. It's kind of a little bits and pieces from everything. It's going to include anything that, however you normally would estimate, like whatever you would normally do. Are you going to have points? Are you going to have hard money loans? Are you going to have HOA fees? All these things are figured in there for you and then customized to the way you do your business. You're going to get the Boss Up app, which is the deal analyzer. Tells you really quickly if it's a deal or not. We're even going to give you the Contractors app, which is where you can create the contracts for your contractors. If they say they're going to mow the grass once a month for $35 and you want to have a contract, you can make it that simple. If you have someone that's going to paint the exterior of the house and they're going to do it for $1,300 and they're going to supply the paint, and this is the agreed upon paint color and the timeline, you can push a button and it'll create those contracts for you as well. You're going to have your activity fee, which is where you will know what's going on and what the team is working on at a glance if you have other people working with you. If not, it helps you to be able to remember what you were last working on. You're going to get the how-to training videos, which is where you're going to learn how to customize each of the apps for your own business. The total value on this is $4,485, and we're offering it to you guys for $447. And so get started today, just $497. And plus you'll have the $29 a month that you'll have to pay for Podio if you want all the automation. If you don't want all the fancy automation like the push button contracts and such, you can do that without that. So there's my link, which is paypal.me/simpleaf, not simple leaf, but it is simple AF. And then for today only, for those that are ready to get started with the simple end game, we have 3 bonus gifts that's only good for today. The bonus app is going to be your digital Rolodex, which is going to have all your buyers, especially if you're working with end buyers and definitely cash buyers as well. So we want you to be able to sell that property easily. You'll have your wholesalers database where you can track all of your deal opportunities. And you'll have your timesheet manager, which is where your day laborers or whoever is turning in, like if you have a maintenance man, he can turn in his timesheet at the end of the week, and you can push a button and it will send that timesheet to the bookkeeper and to whoever is needing to cut the checks that day. On Fridays, as he said, keep them happy, pay them on Fridays. So I had 2 choices. The first option was to go cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible. It wouldn't incentivize me to really stack the value. Our second option requires a little higher investment, but in exchange, I can devote more resources to guarantee your success. And do we have any now, or do we have any questions?
I'm going to let you stop share. There you go. That way we can see everybody.
Okay.
The program is amazing, especially for some folks that are doing a lot of deals where, they've just got a lot of numbers coming at them, or some folks like Terry was talking about where he's going to get some virtual assistants. And so this would be a great tool because it really cuts down on the training on those virtual assistants. So anyway, it's an option. It's out there. I just wanted folks to see it. Karen, I appreciate you coming on.
You're very welcome.
Because in this business, it's always about the tools that we have in our tool belt that makes our jobs easier. And I just wanted folks to be aware that this was actually available and as an option, because a lot of folks didn't even know that there was a program like that, and they're doing everything with the good old-fashioned pen and paper. So
I've
it's all
used
good.
spreadsheets. We've used the yellow pad. I mean, I used to get out my calculator. My calculator is my best friend. My phone is my best friend.
Yep.
Like, I pull out that calculator. If they tell me the ARV is 200,000, I'm driving down the road going times 70 minus this, minus the
I get
hotel
it.
fee. And what are they asking? Oh, that's a deal. That's a deal. Go get it locked down. I mean, I still do, like, just to make sure. I still do that. But that's why we created the app, so that our VAs, or somebody that didn't quite know what they were doing, could help us sift through hundreds and thousands of leads. But that's exactly what it is. And also, I also wanted to say that it doesn't have to be, like, if you don't use part of it, you can get rid of that part of it. It's not set in stone. It's just what's available. And that's what I do. I just talk with you. We figured out what you need it to do for you. And then the things that maybe you didn't think about. Like, for example, if you're going to buy and hold, everybody tries to remove the land value on the app. And I say, you don't want to remove the land value, and this is why. When you are dealing with your CPA at the end of the year and you're trying to get your taxes ready, they're going to ask you, how much did you pay for the house and how much was the land? Because the land is not depreciable, only the house. So if you have to report that, then you want to be able to quickly get that to them, and they will love you. They will seriously love you if you can say, here's the house that I bought, and here's the value of the land, here's the value of the house, and this is how much you paid for it, and here you go. They will just love you for that, because that's less, and you will love yourself because that's less you're going to have to be looking up at tax time, which is already stressful enough.
Yes, I get that. And I didn't add that many in a year's time that it was that complicated for me to look it up. But if I was doing the number of deals that some of these folks are doing, it would be a problem.
We went from 3, our very first year, to 70 over 6 years. So it wasn't a big deal when we had 3. It wasn't a big deal when we had 10. But by the time we had 30,
yes,
and then 40 and 50, and some years we added 25 to the portfolio in a year. So that's like, you got to go, it's very hectic. So that's one of the reasons why this was created. And then we also have like a property management app. We have different apps for different things. But tonight's class was supposed to be about flipping. So
Yes.
I was trying to stay on flipping.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay,
very
does
welcome.
anyone have any questions for Karen? I'll put it in the chat. I'll monitor the chat and let you ask
Oh,
questions.
and I'll put my contact information in the chat
Yes,
also.
please. Please do that.
Okay.
So everybody please visit the chat box. It will have Karen's information. There's some messages in there from Terry.
Make sure I spell my email address correct.
And before we go, I do want to introduce Stephanie. She's with us there. Wave to everybody, Steph. I see you in the corner. See if you can unmute yourself. There you go. Stephanie, tell us a little bit about you and how you help out with this group. And before we jump over to Stephanie, though, just notice that Karen has all of her information there in the chat box. For those of you that are on your cell phone or on your laptop, you can take a screenshot of that. If you don't have a way to jot that down, you can just take a screen print or a screenshot of that. And if you have some questions, put them in there and I'll monitor that while Stephanie's telling us just a little bit about herself. We've got some newcomers and that way you get to meet Stephanie.
Great, thanks so much. Karen and Terry, so informative. Kathy, great tonight. And Karen, that's amazing what you have created. It is, because I do run the numbers and so does Kathy, and we do it, and I'm sure Terry does too. I own Stephanie Jenkins Home Group. I am a RE/MAX real estate agent, and I started out myself buying my first home like so many of us did, like Terry mentioned, like Kathy did, like I did, FHA. Karen, not sure if you did too, but I have worked on and built quite a portfolio over the years, buying, selling, flipping, buy and hold. And I've come completely full circle, and I work with investors from brand new, very first time ever, all the way to more experienced multi-unit buildings and apartments. So many people right now working on Airbnbs. So from the flip to the buy and hold portfolio, I'm here to do all the behind the scenes work for everyone that is on the call and for all of Kathy's mastermind members and her group members, and I love doing it. So any questions anyone has, you know, you can reach out to me. I'll get right back to you in a split second if I can. And just so informative tonight. Terry and Karen, really appreciate your information. Terry, what a story. And he's so young. Wow. Amazing. So Kathy, thanks. If anyone needs any information or help from me, you guys all know I'm here for you.
Stephanie, thank you so much. Chris wants to know, what was the name of Terry's brewery? Terry, jump back in and tell us the name of your brewery. What was it?
It was Pigskin Brewing Company.
Okay.
Over in Gahanna.
I'm familiar. Absolutely. Good.
Know what you're good at, know what you suck at.
I love it. Okay, are there any other questions for Terry or for Karen or Stephanie or even myself? We do have a little mastermind that we take beginners, folks that are totally beginners, and we help you find the properties. We do a boots on the ground once a month. We actually, Stephanie and I go out and find a property and we break it down and show you how we work the numbers. And then we meet up with the mastermind group the third Monday of every month, and we let all the members in the mastermind work the numbers and see how their numbers matched up with ours, and so that they can see exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. So that's available if anyone is interested in that. We have a little side chat going on about the beer in the chat room. I love it. So anyway, with that, we don't want to tie everybody up. We know it's after 7 already. Again, I want to thank Terry so much for coming on. Gosh, I'm so excited to hear what he's done in 10 years. And Karen, my goodness, that program, that is amazing that you put that together and made that work. I have a hard time getting on a Zoom call. And you've created this whole program. So yeah, I'm
Kathy,
not.
can I ask a question before we go to?
Sure.
I completely just understand and see, I just love Karen's products, and I just may have missed it, and forgive me if I did. Does Terry, how can I direct people to Terry from your group or my group? Terry, what is it that who can I send to you?
Listen, for us, it's just deals. And
Okay.
I just started getting into this like whole like guru coaching world. It's not what I wanted to do. It's something that I feel called to do. So we have a couple events going on every year, like every quarter. So it's just an in-office event, and that's what we do every quarter, and that's it. We take 12 people every quarter. That's it. That's all we do.
Good to know. Great, great. And Kathy, I have two back pocket deals in my pocket that I'm going to share with you privately after the call, so you can send out to everybody.
Definitely. Send the deals to Terry. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got him for you guys, for sure.
Let's go.
And Karen, what can we do for you if folks are interested? They've got your contact information, and is that the best for them, is to just get in touch with you to have a one-on-one? She says yes. Okay.
Okay, I figured it. Yeah, I'm not tech savvy when it comes. You will, if y'all ever join me on Coffee with Karen Friday mornings at 9 on Facebook. It's an event on my Simple Automation follow-up page. Almost every week I start with, I am not tech savvy and I have no idea if you see me, if you hear me. I hate this part, but Podio and building this and knowing what needs to happen next is my passion. And that's what I do. But now I do work with an investor out of Houston that is looking for properties in Houston, Dallas, and Phoenix that sells to the Latino communities specifically. And these are in buyers. So we're going to be acting as a JV partner, as we're going to add our fee onto your fee. So if you have any wholesale deals in those areas, we are happy to take them off of your hands if you don't want to deal with it because it's not in your area. Or if you have a deal under contract that doesn't need a lot of work, they're not looking to do a full rehab because they're looking for a move-in ready home, basically. Be sure to send those to us because they'll pay a little more because they are in buyers. They're not investors. And I'd like to say that we had something exciting happen today. We had an investor, last week a property was sold on the MLS. We couldn't buy it. But in the follow-up, she mentioned that there was another property that needs too much work and she's not going to list it and she would be happy to send it to us. So I talked with her today and we're going to be doing a seller finance deal with her with zero down because they don't even live in the property. They're not living there anymore. They don't live in the property anymore and they own it free and clear. So we're getting a deal with zero down and we're paying her $888 a month. And we structured the entire deal. We've never met her. She's never met us, but it was from the follow-up of building rapport with a realtor that knows what we can do. So don't ever think that a deal is done. Always ask for a referral. Do you know anyone else I can help? Do you know anyone else with a house for sale? Do you know anyone else that's looking to buy a house? If this one doesn't work for them, sell them a different one. So there's all kinds of things. And, but yeah, on my Coffee with Karen, we go over how to find deals. I kind of break down something each week. Last week, I think we did Craigslist and Zillow leads, it seems like, or I don't know. I never know. Friday mornings, I just kind of, what am I going to talk about today? I usually have something preset and I'm going through some very basic stuff and they're all recorded and you can always go back and watch any of them that you missed.
Yes, because we're in a different time zone. Now, right now, where we are here, it's 7:27. And what time difference are you?
I'm Central Time. So it is,
okay.
So it's 6:27 here. So whenever
I
have
just an hour.
Yeah, so it would be 10 o'clock Eastern time for you guys. And it's live on Facebook. There's no fee. You can watch the recording. You can watch them live. You can watch them recorded. I wouldn't know if you were watching them live because, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just get on there and show somebody something for it goes anywhere from about 15 to 30 minutes.
And when you're on Facebook Live, what is the page?
Simple Automation Follow-Up. And then the event is Coffee with Karen.
Okay,
And that's in that page. So
okay.
I
If you
love
would-
that, Karen. I love that. Coffee with Karen. That's so nice. And
Yeah,
a girl
if
after my heart.
And if you would put that in the chat for us so that folks can just make a screen print of that as well. Is there any other questions? If not, I think we're going to go ahead and sign off. We've been on an hour and a half, and I appreciate everyone coming. Again, if you need to contact me, if you didn't have a way to screen print that and you want to learn more about Terry, or you want to learn more about Karen, or you want to learn more about Stephanie, or you want to learn more about the Happy House Hunters group and our mastermind, you can contact me at 614-580-6439. Again, 614-580-6439. Just give me a call and I can get you connected to anyone that you heard on the group this evening. So with that, I am going, Stephanie's got her phone number on there, and the event is Coffee with Karen. We've got everything there in the chat. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for coming this evening, and thank you for our patience getting started. We had a couple of minute delay there when we first started. And Karen, thank you, and Terry and Stephanie, and we will see everyone next month. It's the first Tuesday of every month, so watch for us. We have a Facebook page, the Happy House Hunters, and it'll be listed there as well. So with that, we're going to say good night, and thank you for coming.
Thanks, Kat.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.